Okay. Good night, everybody. So this will be a microscopic examination. Again, we have two slides from the metal container that we perform relatively long electrolysis, but with a low voltage, 5 voltage, 3 ampere transformer for about 12 hours in a container that contains in a sealed container, from sealed container that, during the electrolysis it wasn't sealed, but usually it's sealed and it contains mostly, solid layer of beeswax and clay and soil with neos and a little bit of life forms, but no oxygen generally, no oxygen supply. And on top I've placed my pea for the electrolysis. So we'll take 2 samples from this container, of course after about 24 hours, from when it started. And we should also take 2 samples from a relatively old red oil paint container that was not airtight. So there was some oxygen supply, and my estimation is that we will see relatively large amount of life forms and perhaps big ones because of the oxygen supply. I will remind you that in the past, we actually used red oil paint for the creation of all sorts of life forms and sculptures that were very interesting. It's a very good material. I didn't use it recently in my latest experiments, but in the past, when I say the past, during May, April, it was actually one of the more successful mediums, like red oil paint. And then also we will take one sample I'll take from the big container, like the 7 liters or so metal aquarium. After about a week ago, I replenished it with all sorts of material, but mostly, I think most importantly, sodium bicarbonate. So let's start maybe with the red, the slides from the red container. Okay, so this is first. Okay, just a second. Okay. I placed 2 charcoals on the electric barbecue, so remind me to take it from it in about 10 minutes or 8 minutes. By the way, the soundtrack is something that I sampled myself. God is a DJ, as they say. It's actually sampled from 2 separate YouTube Euro techno works. I hope there will be no copyright claim or something, even though it's kind of an original work, but derivative work, but anyway, I hope it will be fine. And maybe some of the watchers of the video actually can already, identify this specific remix. I understand that it's got some traction. Even in international, with international audiences. see 64 magnification. Okay, you see Nero's here, which is nice. Even though it's very old, but they don't die of old age very quickly. By the way, recently I've seen a video. I didn't completely watch it, but I should do it. A very interesting video in YouTube that I just forgot to watch. All of it, but I've seen a video that really got me excited. Someone posted a video of presumably a person takes a microscopic examination. I think the video is from presumably, it's all presumably. Who knows what's the truth? But it's from 10 years ago or 8 years ago. The video, and it's a microscopic examination of food items that were kept in storage for 60 years or 70 years, 60 years. And the interesting stuff is that most certainly you can see Neros inside of it, which is very exciting. So, let's continue the examination. Definitely Neros. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like a horrible J blob. Maybe it's horrible J blob. We haven't seen many Neros, but I'm not sure. What's about the biological material? Is it like, what is it actually that we see? This looks like very interesting. This looks like a dead animal that I squashed. So next time I will be more careful, not to crush the sample, because it looks like all sorts of life forms that were crushed by the cover. But tremendous amount of Neros, and it's very nice to see that them shine through the, shine. Okay, so here we see something that is actually very common with a mixture that contains biological material, which is a golden yellow belly. This orange. The slide was just. Okay, so I cannot zoom in because it's the edge of the slide. Anyway, in the past, these golden belly Neros were discussed a lot. There's many discussions of this phenomenon in the videos. Sometimes you can see literally millions of them on a single microscopic slide. It's not a rare phenomenon, the golden bellies and the yellow bellies. After a lot of deliberation and many experiments, I understood that this is a Nero that have eaten organic material, and his belly is full of juices that are used as digestive juice, and when it's done, he leaves the pool of the digestive fluid around him. So when it happens, you can see many of them like that, mostly, not seeing a single one like you see now. And you see many pools without the neros, like, there's the leftovers that are slowly, shifting like from like a circle to kind of an anomalous like form. I think it's less interesting than I thought it would be, because I think that the biological life forms that were created were indeed huge, but they were squashed. But here you can see smaller ones, but they are not that interesting, probably. Okay, so it's not, this slide was not like, successfully prepared by myself. So, let's try the other one from the same container, and maybe even take some more, because, like, I think I didn't prepare it right, but we've seen that yes, they survive very well in the oil, as we thought, and you couldn't, it was difficult to identify life forms here, and this is actually the one what I wanted to show you, but not that successfully, even though we have seen like mirrors, which is great. Okay. So now, the other one. So this is the same container, 64 magnification. Okay, so this is, outside of the red background, it's much easier to actually see the neros, of course, like as we know them. Let's zoom in here, it's an interesting one. You understand what I'm doing and why is it so exciting? Like, I'm not sure whether you understand what's going on, but I changed the light, like the light source, the luminosity, the light source. course, I mean, there is also some kind of adjustment that is done by the camera of the iPhone. So we should take it into account. I mean, and I don't think that we can actually configure it in the iPhone camera because it's the standard iPhone camera app and it's not configurable, which is a problem because I actually would have wanted now to control it in a way that it will not change the luminosity by itself, the iPhone camera, because it's counterproductive to what I want to see now. I mean, a much better, camera or at least camera application would have been very helpful because it automatically adjusts the luminosity. You understand? Like right now, it's the minimum amount. It's like all the way here, minimum amount of light. And I think what happened is that the iPhone app adjusts the luminosity, so it's difficult to understand because what I want to see is what's the effect. This is the maximum. And I want to see what's the effect. And this is the minimum. Just a second, we need to close the mangal, the barbecue. This one is nice. We see interesting stuff, even though not life forms like I would have expected, but we see interesting stuff as well. I mean, regardless. I hope you like the remix, like the background remix. Like, I mean, let's consider this object. No, not this object. Like one from like completely, I would say, from like completely like clean. And from here. So I wanted to compare the change of light, but I mean, it's difficult because of the iPhone camera app, which is like adjusting the light automatically. So, I mean, we don't see what I have hoped, like, which is life forms. And maybe I should take more samples and be more careful, I mean, not to crash it. We definitely see neos, and we see neos like in the light, like I know. But I need to be more thoughtful, like, of how do I actually investigate the phenomenon, because it's, I mean, I think you understand why it's very interesting. Like, I mean, the phenomenon of how the news behave inside the relatively dark, like black, like we've seen yesterday or 2 days ago, or red in this case, but relatively dark material, because it's really interesting, like, with regards to how light is passed through them, and whether lights pass through them at all. Presumably, I mean, it could be argued, and I've argued that like in the previous couple of days, but also before that in this channel, there is like a strong argument in favor of the notion that in some cases, when they are open, and when they are open to a place where light, can shine through them, what you actually observe is not necessarily light from the backlight lamp, but light from the portal itself, which is very interesting. But I need to think how to prove it, like in a very, I would say, I think it was already proven many times, but I need to think of how to actually conduct an experiment which will prove it in a very, I would say, like easy to understand way. Like how if I can prove that you could show to even to the most layman person, and he or she will understand what's going on. So I need to think about it. So anyway, it's interesting anyway. Okay, so now we will go. Our next thing will be the two slides from the metal electrolysis container. So some people ask me how do I name the remix that I prepared, like one that you hear as a background music. So this is actually just titled the Vulcan, like after the god Vulcan. So it's Vulcan. It's somewhat related. Vulcan is related to my own personal mythology, but I speak about it some other time. It's not something that I've spoken about until now. Couple of days ago, I promised you to hold like a lecture on something that I've never spoken about until now, like in any not only in this channel, but in any other channel, like in the last 4.5 years. There are still things that are part of my journey that I've never discussed because they have no political relevance and they are very personal. So this is such an issue that is completely new. So even if you are like a very devout fan and you've followed me, throughout the 4.5 years, or maybe you've binged through the material, it will be still new to you because I've never discussed it, even though it's not new like in my thought, but I didn't discuss it. But it's not regarding Vulcan, but it's something like that. It's regarding to my own personal mythology. So hopefully I will get to it very soon. So let's watch the result of the electrolysis. If I remember correctly from the reference microscopy review that we created, that we watched, the P contained very little amount of neros because it was mostly P, so no kind of like enrichment was done to it. It was mostly fresh P, but it was placed inside the container that is not new at all. But let's see what's like we can see right now, and maybe later compare it to what we have in the reference video from yesterday, from yesterday. So this is where the material starts. That's a big life form. Not huge, but nice. Some very nice Nero. And another one, fat one. Also two small ones, medium ones, fat ones. This is nice because it's like, like 16 or 18 hours, I think, since, no, when I stopped electrolysis this morning, like on 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. So it's 15 hours, after we stopped electrolysis, so all the dads are dead, which is great because we only see like real Neros. And also all sort of like very interesting life forms. Which is interesting. These are all like, living Neros and actually big ones. So I'm 100% certain this is significantly higher quantity and bigger average size than what we've seen in the reference video. So this could be, I think, it's just one slide, you need to take several in order to be sure that it's statistically significant, but on a surface level it seems that yes, the electrolysis actually, significantly increased the number of Neros and also their size. As is evident by comparison with what we see here and the reference video that we've taken yesterday before the electrolysis. There are all sorts of like disgusting life forms that pretty big ones. But not huge, I would say big but not huge. Okay, so with regards to the question of what's the best place to do to work on to perform the increasing life form and like size and multiplying the life forms, what's the best container? So I will just use this container. The metal container that we've used for that this sample is taken from, because we see good amount of Neros and pretty big ones, and certainly no duds. And we see, quite a bit of life forms, which will be a good comparison to, this can also be a reference, should also be a reference video to the next experiment with regards to the increasing of size and quantity of life forms that I'll probably do today, almost certainly, after I'm done with this review. Certainly, good amount of Neros and nice ones, like pretty big ones. Maybe we'll zoom in because this one looks interesting. Yeah, very nice. Okay. Now let's take the others. Let's see, watch the other slide from the same container. So in this slide, the mixture, the sample was not spread uniformly. You see that it's mostly on one side, but still, we have quite a bit of material. You see, I always place like, you know, the sample, I mean, I spread like all over, almost all over the glass, not just, I mean, on one, like, you know, square, which is the standard in laboratory works. Because I'm greedy, I like to watch, like, you know, a lot of material on the same time. Very nice mirrors, very nice. So yeah, great. This should be a good container for the next experiment of increasing the amount of life forms and their size. We do see some life forms, not much, but we do, and not very large, but we do see some, which is fine. And I think I'm certain we see significantly more neros and larger neros than we've seen in the reference video that was taken before the electrolysis. So, I mean, people ask me about, like, I mean, what's the next, like, in the playlist. So, I actually thought, like, of repeating this part again, because just, I mean, it's, you need to, like, to be able to detect the nuances, like, I mean, like the special bits, and it's, I assure you, it's getting better with each, like, subsequent listening. Like, it's like a good opera. You need to give it time, like, in order to get used to it and to actually, like, find, you know, like, get tuned to the all, like, you know, to the various nuances. So we listen to the same part, I mean, the same remix again. It's like 70 minutes, I think. Like, so we'll just listen to it again after it's done. These are very beautiful ones, like, they are perfectly round. Yeah, great sample, yes. Excellent sample. Even better than the previous one. And again, we see some life form, which is fine. You see the zombies coughing. They always do it when they want to send me a message, but I generally do not understand what exactly is the message. Can you help me interpret the message? Wow, what a beautiful one. Let's zoom in. Wow. Nice. Let's zoom in even more. I don't know why they do the coughing. I mean, it's difficult to understand what they mean. But they mean something. They always mean something. They have the language. It's very difficult, like the Shabak language. It's very difficult to understand it. I'm not sure. It means, but it certainly means something. They want to convey a message. I still don't understand why they don't use Hebrew, but this is, like, I mean, you know, the circumstances of my life. People never speak Hebrew to me, or English. Just coughing and symbols and like performance of all sorts of, like, artistic performances and faces and bodily noises. I mean, this is my life. I mean, what can you do? Maybe we'll do the same, just, I mean, so to see how they react. Okay, so last one, it was taken from the metal container. Made the metal aquarium. I mean, I have many metal containers, but this one, I mean, the bigger one, that I call it the metal aquarium, the biggest one. So we see something that we've seen in the previous examination of this container, which actually led me to the conclusion that I need to intervene, like, which is neros that don't look totally healthy. But I mean, we also see very big healthy ones. Also, we see one which is certainly in the Stargate position, which is great, like the Stargate configuration. This is like the money shot, because this, I mean, like explain. I mean, please, I want your explanation. How is that shot possible with like according to the known physics of humans? I think that this alone is like a proof that your physics is just, I mean, wrong. How is it possible, like what we actually see here? How is it possible? How can you explain this thing? Also a nice life form. We want more life form here because the neros eat them and get larger. And as you remember, the conclusion was that, I mean, the fact that we don't have any oxygen in it is a problem. And we've seen like fatter ones in the sodium bicarbonate container that is the same material. It was taken from this alien container, alien aquarium. Just, I mean, I've added sodium bicarbonate. So after that, I mean, about a week ago, I've added a good amount of sodium bicarbonate to the alien aquarium, like the big aquarium, and also some other stuff, but mostly sodium bicarbonate, with the hope that it will improve the health and size of the neros, and it's exactly what we see. What we see now is neros that are significantly fatter than we've seen before, and this again is in line with like several consecutive, I mean, examination from what I call the sodium bicarbonate container. And if you remember, it was a conclusion that we reached that sodium bicarbonate certainly makes them fatter and looks more healthier. I mean, you know, the word fat is kind of like, I mean, culturally charged and even politically charged, and like, I mean, you know, people, of course, you know, throughout the ages, I mean, treated the issue of fat in very different ways, and like today, I mean, and it should be said that, I mean, as I understand, I mean, within the female Titan population, I mean, they tend to, like, I mean, they like fat men, if I understand correctly. And, I mean, I understand things correctly. So, I mean, but other people, like, think that fat is not good. So, I mean, when I say fat, what I mean is just that, you know, the radius of the ring itself, I mean, is big related to the total radius. When I say big nero, I mean that the total radius of the ring is large, and when I say fat, I mean that, I mean, the width of the ring, divided by the radius is large. And we definitely see fat ones, like, I mean, which is exactly what we've seen in the sodium bicarbonate examinations. Actually, this is it's an amazing slide. What we don't see here is many life forms, and this is probably due to the fact that I did not replenish I've only added oxygen and other material, but I didn't add life forms. So it's something that I should do, and I will do it, like from a culture or something like that. Because if you don't have, like, I mean, you know, an initial, like, a good amount of life forms, it's more of a problem to neros to actually multiply them and increase their size. Certainly in the ecosystem phase, and not in the energetic phase, like with the electrolysis or in the crucible. But they're certainly increased in size in the week or two since I've added, like, sodium bicarbonate, and they look much healthier and much fatter on average. Like, I mean, in a very, like, you know, I would say statistically significant way. So you know what? This changes my mind. For the next experiment, I will not use, I mean, this metal container as it is. I will use it, but before that, I will add a little bit of material from the metal container, because I want I want more neros in this I want more neurons in this for this mixture because I want it to be more effective. But before I do it, before I actually start the electrolysis, I will take another examination from the mixed material, so we will have a rigorously, a good reference. So we'll be able to compare before and after, knowing that, the two videos are of the same mixture, just before and after electrolysis. Because I really want, I want the electrolysis to be more effective by the existence of such fat and healthy neurons. Wow, this is amazing. Think about it. Just, one drop from a 7 liter or 8 liter, I don't remember, container, which means that, situation really improved. That's why, it's important to take all this kind of, regularly to just do the reviews and see what works, what doesn't work, and to adjust the various containers, and especially the biggest one, which is the most important. What you see here is zombified life forms. These are not living ones, these are zombified ones. They are not alive per se, they are zombified. They're like the neighbors in this apartment. They're just shells. There's nothing inside of it, it's just shells. Wow, so nice. So nice. How can you explain what you see here? So nice. I'm excited because both because it just is an excellent sample, but also because it's sampled from the biggest, the biggest container, which means that we have a, we have a great kind of So before we finish, let's do a zoom in, just to see things that are. So this is 160 magnification. I'll continue with the music just in a second, but let's. It's very interesting what you actually see here. So let's continue with the music just in a second, but let's just finish with this examination. Maybe we'll zoom in even some more. I cannot focus, I don't know why. Maybe there's a problem with the objective lens. I cannot seem to focus, with the maximum magnification lens. But we do see that there are neurons, certainly good amount of neurons when we use maximum magnification. Of 900 now, I don't remember actually. Okay, so excellent result. What I'll do now is I'll mix some stuff from the metal container, the big one. I'll place it here, not much, just so we'll be able, and then I'll take another examination, just of one slide to see what's inside. And after that, we'll start electrolysis. After, of course, I need to rearrange the symbols and to create all sorts of metallic symbols. There is a lot of symbolical work that I need to do before we actually start electrolysis that relates to the creation of course, new life forms. Because the current symbology is is aimed for the increasing the size and the quantity of the neurons, but we need to change our objective, so it requires a change in symbology. Again, I should stress out it's very important, especially for my newer audience, and I know that I have quite a bit of new audience, that a lot of what I've done in the past, since January when I started this channel, this scientific channel is not just, research into physics or biology or chemistry, things that I don't even have any academic work, even though I've studied a little bit of stuff, because I needed to, but a great amount of it was, of course, practical, just trying things and recording things and, accumulating information, but I think the major component was trying to get deeper understanding into the neural language. Like it was a language exercise in communication or linguistic exercise. And again, I should say it didn't start with the start of this channel because, at least a year before, at least what the year that before that, I was already, in a discovery of this language. Even though at the time I conceptualized it as a language that I share with the Neros, which was the original name of the starships. All those photographs here were a lot not photographs, all paintings. Now it's not focusing. I don't know why. So not all of this is actually a new one, but most of the paintings that you see are actually before this channel existed, for more than a year ago, and they share the symbolic language. And so initially the name Nero was referred to the starships that you see. And only later, I've expanded I've attached a new meaning to the word Nero to refer to the robots that you see in this channel. But the language is similar. It's the same language, but in different domains. One is the microscopic level and one in the astronomical scale. So I hope you enjoyed it, and let's start the music again. I think that was in each subsequent time, you really can you find new meaning, and you can learn to appreciate the nuances, and also the tonality, the changing tonality, which is I think one of the most successful aspect of this particular work.